Good evening, everyone, and welcome home to the Bugle Boy, located in LaGrange, Texas. My name is Lane, and thanks for joining us for our We Can Do It webcast series, offering plenty of parking and unlimited front row virtual seating. We are streaming from 5 separate individual locations out to 3 different platforms, which include our website, Facebook, and YouTube. If we experience any technical difficulties, you will see this flash on the screen, sure to convince you that we know what we're doing and will resolve the issue as quickly as possible. Please feel free to log into the chat room and let us know what town, state, or country you're watching from. And at the break, we will give you a shout out. Tonight's show is free to watch, but if you have the means, we encourage you to buy a Name Your Price ticket. If you are watching from our website at thebugleBoy.org/webcast, there is a handy buy ticket button above the video player. And for Facebook and YouTube viewers, we have pasted a clickable link in the chat room. Or you can text BUGLE, B-U-G-L-E, to the number 24365 and a ticket link will be sent to you. You may also choose to support our organization by adding a donation of any amount to your ticket order, for which we, of course, would be most grateful. Now let's step inside and see what the staff is up to. Let's see, Joni, how are you doing tonight?
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to be hanging out, chatting with folks on Facebook and on YouTube. So come by, say hello, let me know what your name and where you're watching from. Let's check in with Heather.
Oh, Heather, you're muted.
Sorry, John. Thank you. I'm going to be hanging out in the chat room at the website where we already have a person, an international viewer from Wales. So please drop in, tell me where you're watching from, and I'd love to say hi. So I'm going to throw it now to John.
Hey, it's John. I'm also here. I'm pushing all the buttons in the background and stuff. And let's move it back inside to Lane.
Okay, thank you very much, Bugle Boy crew, and all of you out there. Thanks for inviting us into your homes. Okay. Tonight we host Ordinary Elephant, and they are a collaboration of husband and wife duo Pete and Crystal Demore. In the past, they've entertained us live at the venue, and shortly they will be here to perform for us from their home studio. Ordinary Elephant is known for captivating audiences with their emotionally powerful and vulnerable songs. In 2017, they took home the International Folk Music Award for Artist of the Year, and the Associated Press calls their latest album, Honest, one of the best Americana albums of the year. Now, let's step into their studio, shall we? John, you want to knock on their door?
Yeah, let's see if we got him here. Ah,
hello, Crystal and Pete.
We weren't ready. No, I'm just kidding.
You'll get ready.
You're still at home.
Come in.
We're so excited to be hosting you guys tonight, and it's really wonderful to be able to see you, even though we're not live. We appreciate this technology, so we can at least do this.
Us too. It's so wonderful to see y'all, and I love all the backgrounds, so you can actually feel like you're in that space. Oh,
right.
I can't wait to be back there for real.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, let's please welcome Pete and Crystal Demore of Ordinary Elephant to the stage.
We're going to take our little Secret Service earpieces out now. Well, thank you all for joining us, and the Bugle Boy for having us. We coming to you from our home in South Louisiana, and being home for so long now, you start to really feel what your creature comforts, the things that you get that just make you feel comfortable and grounded. And songs can do that too. And the song that we're going to start with is, we've been starting our sets and shows with the song for a while now, because it's one of those things. It just feels like home. It feels comfortable. It's one I wrote for my mom.
1, 2, 3, 4. Eggshell white, paint in your hair,
dirt beneath your nails and years on the back of your hands. Some things can wash clean, and some will stick around. Blades of settled steel scattered across the driveway. Still feels like Sunday when I hear a Cajun band. Every chamber of my heart bears a mark of what I come from. Sometimes our world falls apart, but I guess that's what it takes to find the part that cannot break. Wooden table on a concrete slab, the fish are red and the crabs are blue. Every 5-gallon bucket carries a piece of you. Some things can wash clean, and some will stick around. Spilt a beer and a deck of cards, an old bed sheet for a tablecloth. Some of those days are lost. Most I still come across. Every chamber of my heart bears a mark of what I come from. Sometimes our world falls apart, but I guess that's what it takes to find a part that cannot break. I come from hardwood, I come from never giving up, I come from you. I built cities from sidewalk chalk and sailed the world in a cardboard boat. Hope I always dreamed that big. I put the whole damn kitchen in every pot of cold mud soup. Hope I always put everything I got into what I do. Some things can wash clean, and some will stick around. Every chamber of my heart bears a mark of what I come from. Sometimes our world falls apart, but I guess that's what it takes to find the part that cannot break. We cannot break. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. I see Heather Miller on there, a comment from her. So glad to have you here. And I'm gonna assume we can't see the comments from the Bugle Boy page. We can see the Facebook and the YouTube comments, I think. So we can't see who it is from Wales. But if I had to guess, it was probably our friend Daffod, who has befriended us via the internet since the pandemic has started. And we love seeing you in the chat rooms. So thank you for being here.
He's our diplomat,
Our Welsh.
our envoy.
So it's funny how time and events, passage of time or certain events can kind of change the way that you, not necessarily change the meaning of a song, but change the way that a song can feel or the way that it lands. And this next song, I typically introduce it by saying that it's what you get when you mix depression and a grocery store, which is very true. That's where it came from. But I never had, I had no clue the depth that could take on in the last year when I wrote this song.
Or the relief.
That because you go grocery shopping. I don't go grocery shopping anymore. My lovely husband goes grocery shopping for us.
Songwriter Serenade is here. Oh, Carol's here.
Oh, Carol. Hi, Carol. Good to see you. Virtually.
All right. No.
Not
Right?
in tune yet. Might be me.
Make that.
Sorry, our weather is trying to decide what to do here. It's spring and then it got cold again, and our instruments
That was
are.
third. I think we're in third winter.
We're in the third winter.
1, 2, 3, 4.
There's a pizza crust in the parking lot, and a blackbird with a new batch of friends. The engine's off, my seatbelt's still on. Gathered up the energy to go in. There's a shopping cart and 4 o'clock sun, telling the light where to land. Fingers back and forth between the stairwell and the seat. I wish that cart could talk to my head. I know where to go, I don't know how. I'm just a shadow trying to get off the ground. Grocery store greeter, bright yellow vest so you can see her, waiting to be hospitable. I do my best to reciprocate, fake a frugal smile, not sure who's more uncomfortable. The produce is impossible, can't make decisions on a good day. What am I supposed to do now? All these artificial people in this artificial light here, I don't feel like myself anyhow. I know where to go, I don't know how. I'm just a shadow trying to get off the ground. See myself in the freezer door glass. See myself and what's behind it. Suspended on a shelf, waiting to expire or be brought back to life. There's a tap on my shoulder, concerned voice in my ear. Is there something I can help you fight? Guess I look confused, a little bit lost. Maybe it's just how I look in this light. I know where to go, I don't know how. I'm just a shadow trying to get off the ground. Nowhere to go, I don't know how. I'm just a shadow trying to get off the ground.
All right. Heather put pizza, skull, and crossbones.
Oh. That's like the perfect emoticons for that
Heather,
song.
you're our official song emoticon translator.
You can add that to your resume. hey Lee Herman. Good to see you here. Well, down here in South Louisiana, we are, our property where we are living now is surrounded by cows. Well, here is surrounded by pasture on all sides. And it's been really fun the last few months because there are calves everywhere, little tiny baby cows, and it's been really fun watching them just multiply. Every day it feels like they were new. Like, oh, and there's two more, and there's these, and we give some of them names if they
we can tell
the
apart.
ones that if they stand out enough. There's one that is black and white, and it kind of looked like one of our dogs that passed away this past summer. Our dog's name was Parker, so we call him the Parker baby. all of the calves that we name, it's whatever name followed by baby.
Of course.
So that's just classic cow naming tradition.
101.
Right. We don't have a cow song, but we do have a horse song.
All right. It's our hit. 1, 2.
The days when horses rode and men made the wind, the north became our leader. When the west turned its back on the sun again, we moved like whittled water, sped by nailed stone. And the days when horses rode, feet squeezed their belches, their feet belt through the dirt. No line between man and beast, and we were one with the earth. Down Nail Mountain Pass, you would never make it through alone. In the days when horses rode. Oh, my sweet Harriet, she turned like a rhyme that you hear and can't forget. Faster than your last drink goes dry, fast enough to save your life. Broken spirits carried home, broken men and broken bones, hooves and heroes gathered in the middle of the main road, breaking the news we'd known for weeks, women and children with tear-stained cheeks. The days when horses rode. Oh, my sweet Harriet, she turned like a rhyme that you hear and can't forget. Faster than your last drink goes dry, fast enough to save your life. Me and my mare went back to work, tending the farm and the pasture, till she walked alone past the boundary line. I knew not to follow after. There were things that were hard to believe and things that you had to in the days when horses rode. Oh, my sweet Harriet, she turned like a rhyme that you hear and can't forget. Faster than your last drink goes dry, fast enough to save your life. Fast enough to save your life. Thank you all for joining us.
Heather
Wait.
said it was supposed to be a shopping cart, but it showed up as a skull and
Oh.
crossbones.
That's perfect though for Shadow. Yes. that
Oh,
is.
and Joan and Carl are
Hey, y'all.
watching.
Good to have y'all here.
Yeah.
That song, so Heather Miller, who's on here, is a lovely songwriter in Austin. We went to a songwriting retreat out in the very far West Texas desert. This awesome retreat. And we learned about this songwriting process called the translytic process, where it starts with a foreign language piece of poetry, and then you kind of translate it in a sense over and over, and you end up with a song. It just kind of it takes your subconscious for a ride a little bit. You kind of just lean into letting random things come out, and the song we just did actually came out of that process. And it's so interesting that sort of process where it's a little bit mystical and starting with a whole nother language and things. But even just a prompt, like just a single word prompt or a phrase, that it's pretty common in songwriting groups. If you really lean into it and let your mind go where it wants to go, it can pull out things that you don't realize need to come out. And I'm in probably too many songwriting groups. I have a hard time. I have an overcommitment problem. But I combined them one month, and I did that translytic process, and I had a word prompt. The word was I think it was consequences or consequence, and combined those and just let it take me wherever, and it ended up taking me back to high school and early college. And I was an 80s kid, I grew up in the 80s, and then was in high school in the 90s, and in that time, I was a quiet kid, and I didn't really, wasn't in the popular crowd, and that time, it's still a problem now, and I'm sure always will be, but especially in the 90s, I feel like body image was not an image, just what you looked like was a big thing, and thin was the thing to be, and I was not, and that always made me feel like it was a problem, like something was wrong with you if that was the case. And I in that my young mind, liking to solve problems, and but also not understanding a lot of things, and especially how the human body worked. It in my mind it was like, oh well, you eat more, you weigh more, and there's obviously a lot more nuance to it than that. But that seemed to be the main thing that I could wrap my brain around. It was like, well, if that's the issue, then I know how to fix it. I just won't eat. And like any short-term solution, it works until it doesn't. And I dealt with that pendulum of sorting that out eventually. But I'm thankful for where I am today in regards to that, and I'm thankful for songwriting and being able to lean into that process and finding those stories and those parts of yourself that need to come out in song, and that story needs to be told. So yeah, this is a newer one that we finished.
2, 3, 4.
I would keep it in, figured I would sort it out later. Kept everyone out of what I was doing. Trimmed it all down, cut it back to nothing. Little less on my plate, a lot less weight to carry around. I was a quiet, craving, a creature habit and consequence, full of self-control and sabotage, unable to tell the difference. I would live on coffee, cigarettes, and white lights. Yeah, I ate lunch before I left the house. Would look in the mirror like I was a debt I was paying down. Watch it shrink, but never enough. I was a quiet craving, a creature of habit and consequence, full of self-control and sabotage, unable to tell the difference. Couple people try to call me out, trying to do the right thing. All it did was tell me I was doing something right. In my messed up way of thinking. Well, later came and I had to sort it out. I learned that you never really do. There's always a whisper trying to give me the answer, trying to speak louder than the truth. I was a quiet craving, a creature of habit and consequence, full of self-control and sabotage. I'm learning to tell the difference. Something that well, so I've talked about songwriting process before that song, and I just wanted to mention that we're actually doing a songwriting workshop tomorrow. Part of so Terry Hendricks, who's a household name for sure in Texas, but sure a lot of you outside of Texas probably know her as well. But she has a wonderful nonprofit called OYOU, Own Your Own Universe, and she does all these wonderful workshops, and she's moved them all online now, and for the time being. And she loves empowering people and creating community through music and the creative arts. And so she invited us to do a workshop. So we're doing that tomorrow at 1:00 Central. And so all levels are welcome. If you've never written a song, I would especially love it. Just if you feel that calling in any way, please feel free to join us tomorrow. And a huge thanks to the Bugle Boy, who, courtesy, thanks to them, any veterans that would like to attend can attend for free. And there are also scholarships available for folks in need of that. And yes, in addition to songwriting, I write poetry, and we have this poetry book that we put together. So I'm going to read one from here. And I've not read this one out loud. I mean, I usually read stuff at shows, but I've not read this one in particular before at a show. But it just feels like it goes well with the song we just did. Just that need to fit in when, especially as that's a human thing, but especially a young human thing. So this one is called 10 Speed. Clicking whir like some kind of mechanical insect. Strands of hair, not in my ponytail, being blown around my face. Sandaled feet, pushing down the pedals in turn. leg-powered pistons. This thing has 10 speeds, but at 10 years old, I have no idea how to use them. But it still feels cool, graduating from the single-speed Schwinn. Even though this pale seat feels like a rock, and I have to lean forward more than is comfortable to work the brakes. Yeah, this is still cool. Because I haven't learned about being myself yet, or speaking up for what I want or need. I let other people tell me those things. I learn them, like a straight A student at the front of the classroom, and think they're correct because of positive reinforcement. But yeah, I'm positive I love this bike.
Love that one.
So we do have those poetry books available if you like words in your eyes and not just your ears.
Did you see this?
I didn't. Oh,
Rob
he's
George.
talking. Oh my goodness. Our friend Rob George is on here and he said, Stephen says Banjo Pete, Guitar Crystal. Stephen is their son. Oh my goodness. When we
He's
saw
probably
him,
13
he
by
was
now,
like
right?
he was like a little loaf of bread, I feel like.
Absolutely.
It's so fun. Yeah, as I said, I have an overcommitment problem with with songwriting groups. And one month I was working on a song, trying to work on a song, and it just I do deal with depression. The grocery store song was not not all pretend. I do deal with that, and I was in a particularly dark spot trying to work on this song, and just nothing was happening, and in that darkness still was able to kind of see through that and be grateful for having Pete as my person, and to have a person in my life like that is able to handle the uncertainty and unpredictability that depression is, and be able to just roll with it and protect me when needed and just be there. And I started thinking about the things that what his actions, what it feels like they say to me. And so I ended up writing a song from his point of view, talking to me. And I did get approval before we started playing it.
Best words that have ever been put in my mouth. That's what this song's called. Not really.
It's not really.
Two, three.
I can see what you're thinking, land right on your face. You've never been any good at playing cards. You sit there like a sour, cracked and winded, leading me someplace. Didn't plan to go. Your spirit is a powder keg. It's been sitting in the dark. Kicked it in the water. Keep away the sparks. Like a penny, it's sinking down, unable to swim. Packed full of wishes, I wish you didn't need again. I will keep throwing a line and pulling it back in, bring up a bunch of nothing, toss it out again. Some things are worth waiting for, some I can't live without. Let the world spin without us, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. my song to you. Opiates toward the south. Stop asking the water what it takes to drown. Oh, oh, oh. Flash me a look, part question or apology, 'cause you're choked by your trying and all parts of you can't see. Your eyes ask what it is, and mine do. I hope my heart can answer you. I will keep throwing a line out, put it back in, bring up a bunch of nothing, toss it out again. Some things are worth waiting for, some I can't live without. Let the world spin without us, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. Oh, oh,
Thank you. Look at that. We can see the clapping.
I love that. I
So
love how
cool.
we just love all of you at the Bugle Boy, and just how thoughtful you are in person, you know, when we've played there in person, but just hear how careful and intentional you are to to just make us and the audience all feel welcome and as close to a live show as possible in these times. Well, we're gonna play one more song before we take a little short break. You can refill your drinks or run to the restroom, do what you need to do, and then I don't think it'll be a very long break, so don't stray too far. And then we'll come back and do a second set, which also feels so real, like a real show, because usually the live streams we do, it's just one thing you go through. So having the little intermissions is fun.
Get our popcorn. Wonder where Ammonsville is. Do you know where that is? Ammonsville?
Where I'm not,
Ammonsville?
sorry, I'm having a hard time.
Annansville. Deborah,
Where is that, Deborah?
please provide more details. I'm curious. Thank you for being here, too.
Well, we'll leave you at this one before the break. We wrote this one probably about a year ago now. At the start of everything, we had just flown back from Australia. It was, it was right at when everything was changing real fast, and everything was still on. Our tour there was still scheduled, and so we flew there. We got to play one show and had to turn around and come home because everything started changing really quick and started shutting down. And so that was a fun time trying to sort all that out. But everything worked out fine, and we got back home, and then we promptly stayed still for a long time. And it's hard to to stay still when you're used to moving all the time. And so we just, like, I think this was my brain's way of trying to start working things out through song. Tell me that story again, darling. The one where we all end up alright. Tell me that story again, darling. Wasn't it true once upon a time? Wasn't it true once upon a time? I'll keep keeping up with the laundry. You keep keeping up with the car. I guess things aren't really changing here. It sure feels like they are. It sure feels like they are. We got good dogs, we got a good porch. Got eyes to see and we've got a good view. Got ears to hear and we are listening. Truth is not something we can choose. Truth is not something we can choose. Tell me that story again, darling. The one where we all end up alright. Tell me that story again, darling. Wasn't it true once upon a time? Wasn't it true once upon a time? Wasn't it true? Wasn't it true once upon a time? Wasn't it true? Wasn't it true once upon a time? Wasn't it true? Tell me that story again, darling. Wasn't it true? Tell me that story again, darling. Wasn't it true? Tell me that story again, darling. Wasn't it true? Tell me that story again, darling. Wasn't it true? Wasn't it true once upon a time? Wasn't it true? Wasn't it true once upon a time?
Pete and Crystal, that was a wonderful first set, and we so look forward to the
Thank you,
next.
Lane.
Did you
Thanks.
did you see where Amnonsville is? It's south of Lagrange.
Yeah, I just
Oh,
saw that.
yes.
Just south of Lagrange. Amnonsville.
All
I can't believe I didn't know that.
It's a pretty little place. You should check it out.
Cool.
Well, we're going to let you guys take a very short intermission, and we'll see you on the other side.
All right.
Very
Thank
All
you.
right.
See you soon.
Thank you. Okay, I would like to take this time. Is that your dog, Heather?
Hmm?
Okay. All right.
My dog.
I'd like to take this time again to thank you all for tuning in and supporting our 17th musical season. If you are just joining us, tonight's show is free to watch, but if you do have the means, we would like to encourage you to support Ordinary Elephant. We named our live streams the We Can Do It series because even though the venue's closed, we can watch and hear live music, we can connect with one another, we can support our musicians through shows like this, and we can keep our little nonprofit going, the Bugle Boy Foundation. And so if you can support tonight's show, either text the word bugle to the number 24365, or we've pasted a link in the chat room for Facebook and YouTube viewers. If you're watching from the Bugle Boys website, we've provided a convenient buy ticket button above the video player. Now, I think let's roll over to Joni and see who's joined us in the chat room.
Hey guys, I want to say hello to Pedra, who is John's mom. She's watching from Pearland.
Hi, Mom.
We have Heather watching. We have Carol in Southern California. We have Joan and Carl in Montana. We have Lee in Chicago. We have Deborah in Almondsville. And we have Robbie. Let's check in with Heather.
Hi, guys. And you were correct, Crystal, it is Daffod in Snowdon, Wales. We also have Mark in Cedar Park, Joanna, also known as Jojo Lemon, who volunteers with us in Austin. We have Charles and Linda from Cuchara, Colorado. Margot from Stoughton, Wisconsin, which is near Madison, and Willie from Bucksport, Maine. Hey, Willie.
Hey, Willie.
Hey, Willie.
Crystal mentioned earlier that there is a songwriting workshop they're hosting tomorrow through Terry Hendrix's OYOU. And any veteran who's interested in attending will be sponsored through the Bugle Boys Soldier Songs and Voices program. All you need to do is email me at heather@thebugleboy.org and I will get you set up. So now back to Lane.
All right. Thank you, Bugle Boy crew. We couldn't do this without you. Everybody out there, that concludes our short intermission. And I know Pete and Crystal have many more songs to share with us. John, let's bring Ordinary Elephant back in.
Okay.
All right. Yay. So Pete and Crystal, just wanted you to know that even though we rescheduled your January show to tonight, that it was worth the wait. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pete and Crystal Demore back to the stage.
So like we said on the first set, we are coming to you from South Louisiana. Let me take my little Secret Service earpiece out here.
Not so Secret Service.
Not so secret. Yeah, we're coming to you from South Louisiana. So we'll tell you a little bit about where we were before this. We met in College Station, Texas, back in 2009, and we lived there for a little while, and then we moved to Houston and lived there for a few years. And then we discovered that full-time RVing was a thing. Like this now, I feel like that's pretty common
There's TV
knowledge. There's like
TV
TV shows and hashtags and all this, but Instagram I don't think was even a thing then, and at least we weren't on it. Existed, we weren't on it, but we weren't aware of this, and somehow we came across this information and we're just blown away.
It was a blog.
It was a
Remember
blog.
blogs?
Yeah. He found it and was reading it to me, and we were just kind of floored that people just lived on the road full time in RVs, and that's kind of crazy, but that's also very cool, and we kind of feel like we need to do that in our life. And we decided to we decided to pursue that after lots of thinking. And so when we left,
Not much
what-
thinking, more planning.
planning, lots of
I think.
lots of planning.
Yeah.
We knew like that we wanted to do that. But so we bought our first RV, and I think we have there's a little slideshow to go along with it.
There's Millie.
So that was Millie. That was our first RV, and our little car, our little Sue the Subaru behind it. And so we traveled the country for a few years in this setup, and it was wonderful. We got to see so many just fantastic things. And that we both had very different careers prior to that, and so we weren't doing music full time, but starting to live this way, it allowed us to more start pushing more towards music, and it gave us more time to do that. And as we got into doing that more, it was playing shows and touring. That this was not a good tour vehicle, so we decided to switch over. So on the screen now is the our Millie there on the right, and then the trailer that we decided to get. So our new setup was that we were going to have a trailer that we pulled with our van there in the picture there, so that we could leave our house somewhere, the trailer, leave it somewhere, and then go out, touring or exploring in just the van with the dogs. So when we took off, we had 4 dogs. We are now only down to 2, sadly.
It's a tight fit.
But he's admiring his parking job there in the between those trees. That's up in Massachusetts. But yeah, so we were touring around this way, and which was wonderful and fun, and it worked well. But as we transitioned into being full-time musicians during this time, and when that became our job, and we needed to also pay attention to the creative side of it, and it's hard to do when to both be creative, or both one person be rehearsing and the other person being creative and writing when you live in literally the same room, and so we were starting to try to figure out how to that we needed to have a more permanent creative space to be in, so that we could both do that. And so this is our home now, and there the picture on the screen is our home in South Louisiana, and we love it. And we that happened just a few months before the pandemic, so it was pretty incredible timing.
Yeah.
without planning, without trying to have that timing. But yeah, so when we moved into that first one, the big one, we were coming from a house, and so we had to figure out. While that did look like a big RV, I know, it is a lot smaller than a home, and so it takes a lot of sorting through all your stuff to figure out what you want to take along with you, and it weighs a lot, but it also has only a certain amount of weight that it can carry on board, and so we had to go through our things thinking about that and say, is this worth the weight of it to bring along? And as we were doing that, that phrase, the play on that phrase kind of got stuck in my little songwriter brain, and started thinking about all sorts of things that have weight beyond the physical. We ended up with this song. The window and the wood frame you're afraid, thinking things only a kid can. You're 6 years old, but someday you'll be standing where I am. More of a man, will you won't understand. You will wonder if it's worth the wait. The worry wears you down. Have your life's been figured out how to make the other half count. You can count on asking yourself if what you're doing is enough. If you're anything like me, when you grow up. Scattered puzzle on the table, big picture start to take shape.
Every piece has a place to fall, but you've got mistakes to make. There ain't enough to bench, pure enough to break. You will wonder if it's worth the wait. The worry wears you down. Have your life spent figuring out how to make the other half count? You can count on asking yourself if what you're doing is enough. If you're anything like me, when you grow up, you will question the fight and how it is won. You will fight the question whether it can be done to keep the kind all that rises from your chest to your tongue. Don't ever let your words undo the work you've done. Sunlight through the kitchen window, your shadow stands up taller than you. I'm 36 years old, but someday I will stand up taller too. If all the talk I talk is something I can live up to, I still wonder if it's worth the wait. The worry wears me down. I'm still figuring out how to make it all count, and I can count on asking myself if what I'm doing is too much. Let you be who you wanna be when you grow up.
That was cool seeing Millie again.
Oh, hey Tommy.
Oh, cool. And
I know
Aggie.
Tommy from A&M. He came to our show at the Bugle Boy last time we played there.
Oh, right.
In
right.
person. Yeah. When we took off on that adventure, part of it was just we loved that idea of living on the road and exploring the country, but also part of it was just where I was in my life and my career, that it wasn't calling to me in the same way that it was before, and I started to realize that the goals I had set for myself were not all just based on my expectations. I let other people's expectations or society's expectations kind of feed into that and saw it as my own when it wasn't. So I think that's a kind of the safe route, but I was feeling that maybe as safe as a person that I am and like to plan things and like to be careful about things, it still felt like that safe route wasn't where I was supposed to be, and I'm so thankful that we did that, and the song probably was written in Millie in that big RV.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Well, I remember.
We were in the trailer
in
by
the
then.
trailer
Okay.
then.
I think it got started in Millie, maybe. I don't know.
1, 2, 3.
Is it all yellow hair sitting on my desk in a picture I took? Sunlight for a flash, the whole family out front. 'Cause that's what you do. Sitting on concrete steps, I grew up climbing. I take 2 at a time now, but I still reach for the rail. 'Cause that's what you do. There's a comfort in keeping to a path, doing what I know and knowing what I have. The safety of a rail gives my hands something to do, but one day this rail is gonna rust right through. Yeah, one day says something about me. It's what they wanna hear, 'cause that's what I do. I kept my head down, kept my mouth shut. Anything to keep me from screwing up, holding on to their version of me. 'Cause that's what I do. There's a comfort in keeping to a path, doing what I know and knowing what I have. The safety of a rail gives my hands something to do. And one day this rail is gonna rust right through. Yeah, one day it's gonna rust right through. Middle of this highway, same old drive. What might be the middle of my life, where I'm supposed to be. That's what they say. When I doubt that what I have to say could ever count for much, getting into what I really need feels like giving up. But I'm done giving up on myself, holding on to what they say. There's a comfort in keeping to a path, doing what I know and knowing what I have. Safety of a rail gives my hands something to do. But one day this rail is gonna rust right through. Yeah, one day it's gonna rust right through. One day this rail is gonna rust right through. Yeah, one day it's gonna rust right through.
Well, a huge thank you to everybody at the Bugle Boy.
The Bugle Boy.
Lane and John and Heather and Joni over there making things run smoothly. We so appreciate, and all the other volunteers who are have not been on your screen tonight, but who make that place what it is and make it happen. We're so thankful to them. And I realize I mentioned earlier the songwriting workshop that we have tomorrow, but I didn't say where to find information about it. If you go to our website at ordinaryelephant.net, on our events page, it has a link to further information, how to register.
I set up a little thing, ordinaryelephant.net/workshop.
Oh,
That'll go.
or you can just go there.
That'll work.
Look at that. He has that all handled on the tech side of things. Oh, thanks, Shelley. Shelley, they discovered us at the Old Quarter.
Oh, wow. Another amazing venue.
Yes, that we also can't wait to get back to.
What are we playing? Okay.
Jenny and Jay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Jenny was a good woman, Dave was a gentleman. Pushed hard against the pushback, they loved like porcelain. It was a work of art, got stronger under fire. Got judged for being what it was worth the fight. Don't forget what you come from. Jenny kept a diary. James just kept it in. Everybody's got their own way dealing with where they've been. They left before you got here. She left her words to read, and I give you her name to remind you of who you can be. Don't forget what you come from. 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 Phew.
Thank you so much. Clapping ribbon ticker. Clapping ticker.
So I've always been a fairly quiet, introverted person, even though we do get on stage in front of people, or we stand up in our house now and get in front of a camera. But when we were getting up in front of people. But I always grew up as a shy, quiet kid who avoided confrontation and conflict, and just always liked to keep the peace and keep everybody happy. And for a long time, it felt like I was perhaps maybe the only one who would miss out on something because of that, or be affected by that. That just maybe from not engaging as much, I would miss out on things perhaps. But as I got older, I came to realize that there's being quiet, and then there's also not speaking up, and those are different things. And being a quiet white person can be a very dangerous thing. And we can not want things to be the way they are. We can be against the way something is and not have tried to make it that way, but that's not enough. We can't just be quiet about it when it affects, just because it doesn't affect us personally. And it's just not enough. And if we want things to change, we have to actively ask for them to change.
System built up broken in a game that's fixed. Why can't we diagnose it for the cancer that it is? Stop lying to its children, they're way alone. Yeah, it'll be good as new real soon. Back alley crime spilling out on the sidewalk or into a driver's while jogging down the street or just sleeping with the lights off. The street repeating the pen long since out of ink. They scrawled it out in blood, kept writing down what we should think. I didn't ask for it to be this way, but here it is, here it is. More silence ain't gonna make it change. It's getting caught on camera for all the world to see. Million pixels, 1,000 words shouting at us from the screen, screaming out what we could have heard if we'd been listening to years of black voices and what a quiet knee on a field might really mean. No rope to sweep it under, twisted words to make it right. The truth is staring us down like a mirror in the morning light. Can't be unseen, can't be undone. Can't call it a lesson learned if it doesn't teach anyone. I didn't ask for it to be this way. Here it is, here it is. More silence ain't gonna make it change.
We thank you for all the comments there. We can't see all of them though, so we apologize for the, if you're on the Bugle Boy page, those don't come through to the StreamYard thing. So we're not ignoring you. We just we just can't see them. But we'll be sure to look at them afterwards. So I'm gonna read you something else from here. Earlier this month, it was 3 years on March 5th since we lost my grandmother on my mom's side, my mom's mom, and she was a wonderful lady. But she shortly after she passed, we went to their property, and out behind her husband, my grandfather, had died a couple of years before, and so we went to their property, and there was out behind their house, they have, we just called it the shop, but it's a common thing here in South Louisiana to have a shop. It's like a typical workshop with your tools and oil and all the things that you'd expect in a workshop. And then there's also a kitchen and a table, a place to have family gatherings and to cook food and fish fries or crawfish boils, that kind of thing. And shortly after we left there, I wrote this one. It's called Yardstick. Leaning up against the worn wooden wall, it's 3 feet on the concrete. Numbers and notches, so orderly along the side. A contrast to the space. Black ink or paint in the grooves that told it where to be, making marks for measuring. It was probably made for fabrics, but was more often used for fish. So many cleaned and cooked in this workshop that was a satellite extension of the house. where there are only cobwebs and quiet now. But if I close my eyes and hold my breath, I can smell the cornmeal and red pepper. I can hear the fuzzy crack of fish hitting hot oil. I open my eyes and pick up the saging yardstick, still sturdy in my weak and weepy hands, and I am thankful that some things can't be measured. Thanks. Well, actually, I think so. Our lovely tech guy here, John. I think he's gonna put up a couple of pictures. That's my grandma and me.
Oh my goodness.
That's little me there on the left with my bowl cut there. Looks like there was a
There's Big You.
big me. There was a song that I started a long time ago, several years ago, that about her had kind of had to do with a tree. I had certain lines, and I had these things and these ideas, and I could never make it work. And I mean, this was probably 7-8 years ago. I don't know, and I just couldn't. It just sat in a notebook. It just sat on the side, and fast forward to whenever it was. Time is crazy right now, but right before the pandemic, when we were getting this house, and we were up in the Pacific Northwest in Oregon, and we very quickly made our way from Oregon down to Texas, because Pete grew up in Texas in Austin, and his family's still there. So we're going to pass through Austin to pick up some things for the new house, then stop by our house and like step into it for the first time, and then go off to Nashville for Americana Fest. And so we were trying to do that quickly. And we got to Austin, and his family had an extra mattress that we could have, and a couch, and things that we didn't have because we lived on the road full time. And they were also gifting us a piano, an upright piano. And so obviously those things would not, it weighed a little bit too much. It would not fit in the van and the trailer. And so we had to get a moving truck, So Pete drove the van and the trailer, and I drove the big yellow Penske truck back to our house here. And I often, when I'm driving, I will often write in my head. And lines that I wrote however many years ago it was just kind of popped into my head. I started thinking about this song. And there's one line in particular. Lately she's been leaning, standing tall in her small kind of way. That was one that I'd written so many years ago, and that came to my head, and just all these things and these ideas, and I realized that I could not have written this song before. It needed to be now. It needed to be after she was gone, and it was waiting for that. And piano sitting in the back of the truck that I'm driving, and it just sounded like it maybe the melody wanted to be on piano, or and we don't play piano. But we got home, and once we unloaded all these things, I was plunking around and finding, I found the melody that way, through the piano. And then we've since adapted it for instruments that we actually know how to play. So you don't have to hear the...
And forgot it on piano.
And yes, I don't remember how to do it on piano, but it allowed me to, that was the first song that we wrote in this house. And it's so interesting, being patient and with songs and writing, that it's not always ready yet, and sometimes it takes a few years and other events to make it so. That's the case here. So this is a fairly newly finished one. It's called "Birdie Was an Oak Tree." Her name was Birdie. I didn't say that, but Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Oh, sorry.
You good, right?
Yep.
2, 3.
There's an oak tree out in the yard in a spot that you can't miss. I don't always look her straight on when I'm sitting in her shade. Lately she's been leaning, standing tall in her small kind of way, fighting hard to do what she loves, no matter what time takes away. When it's time for her to be going, when it's time, when it's time, when it's time, when to be blowing, when it's time, when it's time. Every morning that I'm at home, I sit out in the yard, in a spot I always miss when I'm out on the road. Same chair, same tree, same birds talking to me, same things I take for granted, 'cause they're there for me to see. When it's time for her to be going, when it's time, when it's time, when it's time, when to be blowing, when it's time, when it's time. There's something in the air, like static on the line. Close my eyes to listen harder. The only voice I hear is mine, raised from a whisper to waiting silence, to a wail of disbelief. The sun floods through the windows where branches used to be. I run out against the wind, drop my knees to the dirt, run my fingers through the leaves, and lean into a earth that takes my breath away. There's a tree stump out in the yard, a patch of shade that I miss. Run my fingers round her rings when I'm feeling alone, like unraveled strings of DNA that rearranged and found their way to a new set of genes. And every one of my cells, and every word that I say, when it's time for me to be going, when it's time, when it's time, when it's time, when to be blowing, when it's time, when it's time.
What you think? Do you want to do the...
Yeah. I think that's-
but we're having a band meeting. But
One.
or
One.
one. Okay.
One.
That's our code language there.
We're really fluent. And wavelength.
We speak in binary. 1 0 0 1
Zero, zero, one, zero, one.
Well, we're gonna leave you with another newer one, or at least new. It isn't out on a record yet. We've been writing a good bit over this last year, and we haven't mentioned we have a Patreon page. If that's not something you're familiar with, it's basically an online community that it's a platform that allows artists to come together with other folks who want to support that art, and we essentially share things there that either we aren't going to share anywhere else, or if we are going to share it publicly, it's going to go there first. And so a lot of these new songs that we've been playing that are not on a record yet, or that's where they end up, at least in their first form. Sometimes they change.
When did that song come out?
That was, I don't even,
On Patreon.
7 years
I
ago.
played upright bass on it.
He did. Yeah, our video on Patreon has, it looks like there are 3 people in it, because he's playing magic of video, but we played it together, and then he played upright bass, and
No, all at the same time. Magic.
and then made it look like we're all in the
Magic.
room.
Magic.
Or does Pete have a twin? That's the question.
I'm my own twin. Sorry. Okay, ready?
Yeah. So this one's on Patreon too. This is one we wrote out in West Texas. We've mentioned that already tonight. We love that part of the country. Thank you all for being here. It's been really fun sharing our songs with you.
1, 2, 3.
I make you coffee every morning. You make me laugh when I'm trying not to. See me in ways I'm scared to. Love me anyway. Now this West Texas sunset is watching us walk off a hard day. With too much to do out in the way. Being who we are. It wasn't their best left for being left behind, but I'll do it all over to stay shoulder to shoulder with you. As long as the rain turns to river in this canyon, this canyon returns my every word. I will sing it out in echoes anywhere the road goes. I walk with you, I walk with you, I walk with you. We got 2 dogs, a
playing harmonics.
Woo!
Thanks so much, y'all.
Hello, hello.
Thank you.
That was awesome. Hello. Are we? Did I miss something here?
Did I miss something?
Because you said one, and I in private chatted you two. Did you get that message?
Oh, no. Well, kind of.
Oh.
Okay.
We did
So
it
other
before.
people missed that too. So I think you should do your.
We'll do one more.
We're gonna-
one more, right?
Okay.
Sounds good.
That
Okay.
sounds good.
This
yeah.
is uncomfortable, but yes.
We're fine.
We're fine. no.
Nobody's
Can we-
uncomfortable.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna do. We got word on the horn here that that we're supposed to do one more. So I think we're gonna do that.
Cool.
Okay, just kidding. That wasn't our last song. We had this one planned, and then we were debating whether or not to play it. This is one that it's on our album before last. Our album called Before I Go. And we wrote this one, it was the last song that we wrote before recording the
Before
album.
we went
Before we went.
to the studio.
Right. Yeah, and it's one we wrote it for when we need to hear it. Basically, it's so easy as as being a human and interacting in the world in general, but especially as musicians, I feel like we get exposed. We see other musicians a lot. I mean, we enjoy music, and so we go to see live music or live streams, when we can, and it's easy to see someone doing something that you love to do and see them do it really well, and to just instantly compare yourself for a moment. And we try to step away from that instinct and remember to we all do what we do, and that's the point, to all do what we were put here to do, and share it and connect in that way.
1, 2, 3.
Over in the corner, like an old bar stool, he held me up right when I needed him to. He said, "Listen up, my friend, let me tell you what I know. You can wish you were someone else, then you gotta let it go. 'Cause that's a good way to get a bad start. I don't care what straw you drew, gotta let it make the best of you. We're playing a game, we're running a race. It's a way of life, boy. Just gotta find your place. Used to be like you, sit here in the dark, watch 'em in the barely see his face. Picked up his old Martin box, ready for the stage. He said, let me ask you this, what you gonna do? You pick yourself up or find a crack to fall through? 'Cause that's a good way to get a bad start. I don't care what straw you drew, gotta let it make the best of you. You're done in a good way, get a bad start. I don't care what straw you drew, gotta let it make the best of you.
There we go.
That was great. We tricked them. All right. Woo. Are you gonna make us work
right.
for it?
I think we got him back.
No, we gotta
Oh,
work
they're leaving.
harder.
Oh, never mind. They're leaving.
We have to work
We got a
harder.
bag.
We gotta work harder, people. Come on.
No, please.
One more.
Come on. One more.
They got
Where's
it.
that
Come on.
stomp?
There we go.
John, stomp. There they are.
Little did they know we have basements in Louisiana.
We don't have basements in Louisiana. They would. Oh, I'm so glad that we didn't know that existed. Or else there would have
Be fishing for
there
it
would
the
have been
whole
a
night.
smattering of corny
But
jokes
now that we know,
throughout.
they might have been doing. They
Right,
might have
they
been
might
doing it the
have
whole time.
We couldn't hear. That's
Oh
funny.
man,
Ooh.
y'all are the best.
Well, thank you so much for inviting us back up our non-existent stairs. We'll do one more little short one to send everyone home to the other room of your house. So when we were traveling, and we were in Millie, the first big RV that you saw on the slideshow earlier. We were in Fort Davis, Texas, which is near where the McDonald Observatory is. It's down near Big Bend. It's still a drive to Big Bend, but that region of Texas. And we were just McDonald Observatory. If you have a chance to go there, I would highly recommend it. Just you get to see look through these giant telescopes and see all this ancient light, and it's incredible. And sitting out there, we're just feeling really thankful for all the things that we get to see out in nature when we travel that make us feel so incredibly small in just the absolute best way. And we wrote this little one called Thank You. In the belly of this canyon carved by the hands of the Rio Grande, 1,000 miles from what I once called home, I'm just a speck on this West Texas wind, blowing through these hills of stone. When I feel like next to nothing, next to something like that, I know there's nothing I need I don't already have. Talking about tomorrow, looking at a sky full of past. The only thing that's new is the moon. Our eyes collect the light of stars born 3 million years ago, showing up as we are passing through. When I feel like next to nothing, next to something like that, I know there's nothing I need I don't already have. So thank you for taking me to the trees and where the mountains talk to me. Time ain't slowing down, guess you and I better learn to, 'cause
what's the worth of living through a life that cannot catch up with you?
Oh, and it's so great to see all
Oh
your
my
faces.
God,
Bugle
that
Boy,
was awesome.
people, y'all are the best.
Thank you, Pete and Crystal, so much for inviting us into your worth the wait home. Like we all want to show up there tomorrow and
Come on down.
We would love that.
Maybe the next day.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe in a little while.
Maybe in a little while.
Maybe a little
Yeah.
couple
And,
months.
and thank you for sharing your music, your history, and your personal stories with us. I'd like to mention that if all goes as planned, people, we will be hosting Ordinary Elephant Live at the Bugle Boy on September 18th. And more importantly, many of us watching also sported a bowl haircut in our younger lives. And looking at the reflection of myself now, I'm like, I promise it will grow out by September. So I'd like to continue our end of night tradition and get a group photo. I know Joanna's out there, and she's gonna do a little trick called Shift Command 3.
Awesome.
And on the count of 3, we'll put on our best internet smile and capture an internet
Wonderful.
photograph. Are y'all ready?
We
Yeah.
are ready.
1, 2, 3. Shift Command 3.
Wait, was it taken on 3 or Shift Command 3?
I don't know. She often sneaks them in during the
Okay.
course of the evening.
her call.
So it's her call. We'll see what we get when we get it. Now let's find out who else has joined us in the chat room. Joni, got people for us?
We want to say hello to Jana, Yvonne, Shelley, and Tommy.
Nice.
Okay. What about Heather?
We've got James in Columbus, Harriet and Phil from Bryan, Texas. And I just wanted to let Pete and Crystal know that on the website, Joanna, Jojo Lemon, posted the link to their Patreon page and a link to sign up for your email.
Nice.
Aw,
You're the best, Joanna. She's so great.
MVP, as always.
So in closing, once again, thank you, Pete and Crystal, for sharing literally your lives with us tonight. We really appreciate it. And as Joanna is getting a lot of airtime tonight, she put it this way in the chat. You made her heart happy, which means you made all of our hearts happy tonight.
Aw,
Well, thank
thank
God.
y'all so much.
We're so
As-
thankful to be able to do this. It means a lot.
You
Yeah,
really
before
just-
we,
go ahead, Heather.
I'm sorry.
No,
Go ahead, but and I'll go after you.
Really? No, you need to go. Go.
Okay.
No, after you. No.
This
All
isn't a
right.
four-way stop.
Okay, there we go. 4-way stop. That's right. Okay, if John will put up the little schedule, we wanted to invite everybody back for some more upcoming shows that include Guy and Jessica Forsyth this coming weekend, David Starr, Albert Engage, Carrie Hudson, Joe James, and Susan Gibson. So we hope you'll come back every Saturday, just about, and join us for some more awesome shows like tonight's show.
Yay. Yes, support the Bugle Boy and all of those lovely artists.
Y'all are the best lineup.
And Pete and Crystal, thank you so much for jumping in and doing a workshop with OYOU, Terry
Yeah,
Hendricks.
we're excited about
We're looking forward to it.
And
nerding out on songwriting.
yeah, and I just want to mention for folks out there, if you are a veteran or know a veteran, it is free for you. The Bugle Boy will pay for you to do that, and you just need to email Heather at thebugleboy.org, and we'll take care of that for you. It's been a pleasure being with you all in the audience. Thank you for inviting us into your homes and for supporting Pete and Crystal tonight. Next week, as Heather said, we'll be right back here with Guy and Jessica Forsythe. Good night, everybody. Safe travels home.
Good night, y'all.
I'm used to saying that. Hope you're home and safe and didn't have to travel anywhere. All right. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.